She walked through the curtain, boots still dripping from the melted ice she never bothered to wipe off, and for the first time in 23 years, the gorilla position went dead quiet. Seriously, completely silent. No clapping, no whispers, no producer yelling, "Go, go, go." Just the echo of one heartbeat, hers, against a hallway that suddenly felt 3 miles long and stretched into an eternity. It was a silence so profound, so unexpected, that it swallowed every usual backstage clamor, leaving only a chilling emptiness in its wake. Monday Night Raw, Dallas. The main event segment was rolling, and women's champ Raquel Vega was cutting her usual promo about running through the division. Backstage, the locker room was half watching, half joking around. A rumor had trickled out from talent relations, a ridiculous whisper that the mystery opponent was Steven Seagal's daughter. The absurdity of it was enough to get a few smirks. Vega issued the tired open challenge because that's what babyface champs do. The writers were already penciling in a quick win for the hometown hero. Except, the name on the internal card was redacted. Not mystery opponent. A literal black bar. The production crew figured it was a glitch. Talent relations, when pressed about the Seagal rumor, just smiled and said, "You'll see." Even the commentary team got handed a single sheet of paper with only 2 words. React genuine. No hometown, no height, no signature finisher. She was a ghost with a social security number and a locker assignment. Most backstage assumed it was a gimmick, just a strange setup for a SummerSlam reveal. It was unsettling, but no one was truly prepared. Then the lights dropped. A full, absolute, pitch-black darkness. The arena Wi-Fi cut out, a deliberate move. It was just you and the darkness. Then came the tone. One single, resonant bass note, held for 8 seconds, followed by 3 hand-clap snares that sounded like a snapped femur. No lyrics, no pyro, no dazzling graphics. Just that slow, deliberate loop, like a funeral march for a horror movie. Backstage, a few wrestlers chuckled watching the monitor. "Seagal's kid. Looks more like a Halloween prank," one muttered. The crowd tried to figure out who would enter to what was essentially a jump scare. In the truck, the director was reportedly screaming, "Who the hell is this?" The hard camera, shaking perceptibly, finally zoomed in, catching a glimpse of the face paint. Half porcelain doll, half cracked marble. It wasn't a mask, it was actual paint. Her eyes were completely white, no pupils visible. She didn't pose or smile. She just walked. The referee, rattled, forgot to open the ropes. She stepped over them like they were dental floss, her movements precise and unnervingly fluid. The bell rang. Vega, a powerhouse at 5'9", shot for a double-leg takedown. Backstage, a veteran scoffed, leaning back in his chair. She won't last 5 minutes. But the newcomer didn't budge. Vega bounced off her like she'd hit a brick wall. The first collective gasp rippled through the crowd, and in the locker room, the first jokes died on their lips. Vega tried a shoulder thrust. The newcomer, without a hint of struggle, lifted her by the throat with one hand, deadlifted her into a stalling suplex, and held her vertically for an agonizing 6 count, staring directly at the hard camera, her face devoid of expression. On commentary, someone muttered, "That's impossible leverage." While the reef's back was turned, the newcomer grabbed Vega's wrist and snapped it backward. A legit hyperextension. You could hear the pop on the hard cam's audio. The crowd groaned. In the locker room, wrestlers who were lounging just moments before were now leaning forward, their eyes glued to the monitor. Someone whispered, his voice laced with disbelief, "Did she just?" Agents were ready to throw up the X to stop the match, but a single, chilling order came through the referee's earpiece. Let it ride. The next 3 minutes were a master class in star-making. She no-sold a spinning heel kick, then locked in a submission that looked like a terrifying hybrid of a Kimura and a Dragon Sleeper. Vega somehow escaped and hit her finisher, the Aztec Bomb. 1, 2. A kick-out at 2.9, so clean the ref momentarily forgot to signal it. A commentator's voice was barely a whisper. She's smiling. The newcomer ducked a clothesline, spun Vega inside out with a short-range lariat that looked like it could decapitate a deer. Vega landed in a crumpled heap. The crowd was on its feet, a unified mass of shock. The newcomer dragged Vega up by the hair, leaned in, and whispered something lip readers later claimed was, "Time to wake up." She then hooked both arms and dropped Vega on the back of her neck with a move so vicious and tight it looked utterly devastating. Commentators later dubbed it the Silence Breaker, because when it landed, the entire arena hushed. The pin was a formality. 1, 2, 3. The bell rang. Her music didn't hit. She didn't celebrate. She stepped over Vega's prone body and walked up the ramp with the same unnerving gait. The referee raised her hand. She yanked it away. She vanished behind the curtain while trainers rushed the ring. The crowd noise returned in a thunderous, "Holy Sow" chant. But backstage on the monitors showing the locker room, nothing. Just faces, frozen in disbelief. Here's where the story becomes legend. The moment she stepped through the curtain, the entire backstage area went library quiet. But the real story was in the locker room, where every single wrestler had been watching the monitors. The jokester who said she wouldn't last 5 minutes now sat with his jaw hanging open. A dropped coffee cup shattered on the floor. Nobody flinched. One writer, visibly shaken, dropped his clipboard, scattering pages everywhere, but no one moved to help. The only sound was the muted monitor, replaying the finish. On the live feed, the world could hear one of the commentators, his voice hushed, state the obvious. The locker room has gone completely quiet. The wrestlers weren't just watching a replay, they were processing a fundamental shift. Shayna Baszler, known for her composure, reportedly muttered, "We're in trouble." Becky Lynch just stared blankly at the ceiling tiles. Rhea Ripley broke the quiet by punching a wall, not in anger, but in a spooked, visceral reaction. The usual post-match huddle never happened. Everyone dispersed, quietly, a heavy, thoughtful silence replacing their usual boisterous energy. Vega was stretchered out, officially sidelined for 4 weeks with a dislocation. WWE.com posted a 3-paragraph recap that never named the winner, simply stating, "Mystery opponent victorious." The social media team uploaded a heavily edited 14-second clip of the finish, no commentary audio leaving fans even more perplexed. Who is she? What just happened? Is this real? Flooded the comments. WrestleVotes tweeted, "Entire locker room speechless. Never seen anything like it." By 3 a.m., a Reddit thread dissecting the Steven Seagal's daughter theory hit 12,000 upvotes, spawning 100 conspiracies. Someone overlaid her haunting entrance tone with the word "silent" in a glitch font. It trended on TikTok within hours. The next morning, an internal email read, "Talent. Do not discuss last night's opponent on social platforms." Security footage later revealed she changed into a plain hoodie, walked through the lingering crowd during a post-show dark match, and simply vanished into the Dallas night. Naturally, the internet exploded. Theory 1 became the most frighteningly plausible. She's exactly who they whispered she was. Steven Seagal's daughter, a quiet killer with a deep background in Aikido and Jiu-Jitsu, brought in to force the entire division to either step up or step aside. Theory 2, she's a plant from an unannounced, more brutal sister promotion, a viral marketing stunt. Theory 3, a one-off horror movie tie-in for WrestleMania. But the most telling part was Theory 4, that nobody in creative actually booked her, that a real, unscripted person bluffed her way past security and won a sanctioned match. It was quickly debunked. WWE doesn't work that way. But the fact people half believed it showed just how eerie and unsettling that silence truly felt. It shattered the illusion of control, even for a moment, and that was terrifying. If you were in that arena, or if you've somehow got a blurry phone clip the world hasn't seen, a whisper of a detail, please drop it in the comments. We need to piece this together, because the official story just isn't cutting it. Wrestling silence is incredibly rare. When an entire locker room, people who have seen it all, goes quiet, it's not just awe. It's a primal fear. It's the tension between their initial doubt and the sudden harsh respect they were forced to give. It's the fear that the carefully controlled art form they dedicate their lives to just got hijacked by something real, something untamed. It's the fear that tomorrow, their spots, their paychecks, their very safety, suddenly have a terrifying new variable. Silence is the body's instinctive way of saying, "We don't have a response yet." In WWE, a company that scripts every eyebrow raise, that moment of collective speechlessness is more powerful than any promo. It's the closest thing to legitimate uncertainty the modern era of wrestling allows, a crack in the carefully constructed facade that lets in a chilling gust of reality. It reminded everyone that there are still forces that can simply refuse to play along. Raw the following week opened with a 10-bell salute honoring the unpredictability of competition. The subtext was obvious. They were stalling. The women's roster cut forced promos about new challenges, but none of them called her by name, because nobody knew it. General Manager Sonya Deville ended the show holding the now-vacated championship, promising a tournament. The crowd booed, not because they hate tournaments, but because they knew it was a placeholder. They wanted the ghost, not the bracket. Meanwhile, the WWE shop quietly released a black hoodie with that cracked doll graphic on it. It sold out in 38 minutes. No advertising, just a product page and that same bass tone loop on autoplay. Fans, in their collective wisdom, started referring to her simply as Silence, because it was the only word that truly captured her impact. The company was scrambling to capitalize on a phenomenon they couldn't control. SmackDown's Friday. If she shows up again, you'll definitely want the alert. So smash that subscribe button and ring the bell, because the usual dirt sheets aren't getting scoops on this one. You heard it here first. We claim we want surprises, but when one actually walks through the curtain, we freeze. The silence in the locker room that night mirrored the silence in every living room. A stark reminder that professional wrestling still has the power to feel dangerous. Not physically brutal dangerous, but mystery dangerous. The kind where you don't know if what you just watched was meticulously planned or if the universe handed you a glitch in the Matrix. Whether she ever appears again, that singular moment is now etched into folklore. It's a story whispered in hushed tones, a legend in the making. It was the night a woman with no name, no song, and no smile reminded the entire business and every single one of us that silence can be the loudest, most terrifying, and most unforgettable promo of all. It's a testament to the enduring magic of pro wrestling, a reminder that the truly unpredictable can still leave us all utterly, wonderfully speechless. She left the ring, but the hush lingers. Was it fear? Or the sudden chilling respect that comes when you realize the script just got ripped up and nobody's safe? Until she resurfaces, we're all stuck listening for that single bass note. And in every arena hallway, the gorilla position is still quieter than usual, forever changed by the woman they called Silence.